Welcome to Junkyard of the Rabbit. Glad to have you back this week. Tonight, we've got a movie about the Titanic called That Sinking Feeling. We got the industrial arts training films. We've got William Shatner in some kind of futuristic, I don't even know what it is. We got music. We got a good time tonight. Stick around. Junkyard and the Rabbit. We'll be right back. Tonight, we are going to show you, what is that noise? Junkyard. Junkyard, what is it? It sounded like something was leaking, but anyway, maybe it's because they have the sinking feeling tonight, the worst Titanic film ever made. We have some industrial arts type shop class safety films. But I gotta tell you a little story about back in shop class, back when I was in school. We had an industrial arts teacher that used to say all the time that he would rather pull his foot out of our butt than pull one of our fingers out of a pile of sawdust. And then he'd go, think about that, and he'd just walk off. Think about that, and he'd walk off. All right, our musical guests tonight, we got Brian Frame, we have David Regnier, we have Mark Smeltzer, and we have Lauren Krum. All excellent musicians. The music is going to be superb. Stick around. Junkyard and the Rabbit.
Safety is the most important consideration in any shop. For no tool, no job, no product is as important as the safety of the craftsman. Safety begins with the individual. You can help avoid accidents and safeguard your own safety by wearing the proper clothing. Your clothes should be close-fitting. A necktie can get caught in a power tool or other machinery. Either wear a bow tie or remove your tie before starting to work. Floppy sleeves present the same safety hazard. Either wear short sleeves or roll your sleeves above your elbows. Remove all wristwatches, rings, and other jewelry which can catch on something and cause an accident.
This charge is then moved through the semiconductor material. And
my name is William Shatner. In this film, I played John Tench, an electronics engineer. John works in the research center of a major communications company. He's one of a team developing new television technology. John has inherited pioneering traits that made his British ancestors successful early colonists. Some believe a rich land made this nation, others an energetic people. John Tench believes it was Yankee ingenuity. Innovation was the leverage that made our economy expand.
This incredibly tiny television camera. And the gold video disc recording color pictures and stereo sound. Appears to be a gold LP record. 1 hour of TV on a disc. That's the important breakthroughs around here right now. Someday we'll be able to watch what we want, when we want. We'll be able to program television to suit ourselves.
A shop apron protects you as well as your clothing. It shields your clothing from becoming entangled in some piece of equipment. But beware of shop aprons with loose pencil pockets on the bib. Gloves are essential in many operations and should be kept handy for all. The same is true of other protective items such as goggles or a grinding shield, which would be used when grinding tools. And a shield to protect your eyes and face when welding. Proper clothing, including protective clothing for certain operations, should always be worn. There are no exceptions. Your safety is at stake.
You know, it's fun to have an idea.
Our ideas don't always work. We've often failed in our attempts to lever ourselves upward, but we keep trying. All ideas are welcome. It doesn't matter who thought of them or where they come from, as long as they work. The hang glider owes its heritage to the space program. NASA needed an inexpensive way to land capsules on land, and to Leonardo da Vinci, who sketched its principles 500 years ago. It is a classic example of innovation, applying an old idea to a new need and creating something else in turn. Capsules still splash down at sea, but the sport has taken off.
To be able to put that idea down on paper, to see and feel that same idea take shape in wood, in metal, in plastic, or in leather. And you know, I like the feel of a board moving smoothly against a sharp saw. I like the smell of fresh wood chips and sawdust, the bright glare of a welder, the sharp whine of a power tool, or the dull tap, tap of tools on leather. I like the feel of a saw, a wrench, a plane, or a chisel. And I feel real good because I'm a craftsman.
People who use tools in their work have to be very careful because tools can be dangerous.
You've got 3 minutes. Welcome to Central High. You're just in time for a massacre.
This carpenter is a good workman. He uses his tools safely. He doesn't want to take chances. Look at this welder. He certainly doesn't want to take chances either. He wears safety equipment, especially designed for his work. But it takes a lot of practice to use tools safely. A sculptor works with his hands. His hands are his living. Therefore, he is most careful to use his tools safely.
This year, the in crowd has a real problem, because this year there's a new kid, and he doesn't like to be pushed around. He lives by the golden rule: do unto others, and make it permanent.
Machine workers who use tools in their daily work realize the importance of using their tools safely and carefully. In our homes, we use tools every day, just as Bill and Peggy do. Let's see what some of these tools are and find out how we use them safely.
Long sheets of now I cannot hear that sound. The shining heart crying aloud. When my world goes crashing down, she won't be there when it beats the ground. The helpless heart, oh my helpless heart, a helpless heart, oh my helpless heart.
Whew! A lot of safety there. Lot of safety. But you know, Brian Frame, he made it all make sense to me somehow. I don't know how, but it all makes sense to me now. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right, so we're getting ready for that sinking feeling. Now, first of all, how many, I know none of you remember this, but way back when there used to be a TV show called You Are There. And they would try and take you to historical events and things, and they kind of recreate it, and they were trying to give you the feeling that you are there. You weren't there or anything. And in fact, they were hardly even there. They wouldn't even they didn't have any budget for the TV show, so they just have like farmers drawing the Titanic, and they would have, you know, in the sets it might look like gun smoke in the background, but it's supposed to be the Titanic shit. It's crazy. You are there. That sinking feeling.
Has begun in ocean transportation as the famous British White Star liner Titanic begins its first run across the Atlantic Ocean. The biggest, fastest, most luxurious liner in the world. The Titanic is expected not only to break all existing speed records for passenger ships, but to provide a model for future ocean travel in terms of comfort and, above all, of safety. Already dubbed the unsinkable ship, the Titanic is a marvel of marine engineering and craftsmanship. With its launching, man has taken another giant step forward in his conquest of space. 4 days ago, the Titanic left Southampton, England, headed for New York City. At this moment, she's on the high seas. Well, this first trip is naturally a feeling-out voyage, and it is doubtful whether the great ship will be pushed to her limits. Still, the posting of a good time for the trip will assure for its owners the fame and fortune predicted for the Titanic. Several reporters are on board the ship now, ready to bring you the latest reports of what may well be an epic-making transatlantic trip. All things are as they were then, except you are there.
This is Fleet Roberts on the bridge of the Titanic, somewhere in the North Atlantic. This is our 5th night out since leaving Southampton, and the voyage has been as pleasant as it's been uneventful. The weather has been very clear, although rather unusually cold for this time of year, and the ship's been making extremely good time. No one is predicting a record yet, but no one will be surprised if one is made. The officer you see there is Captain E.J. Smith, master of the Titanic. With him is Lord Bruce Ismay, chairman of the White Star Line, the company that, as you know, owns the Titanic. Captain Smith, sir, is the Titanic performing up to your expectations?
If anything, beyond them.
Do you think you'll break the record?
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
I myself would be surprised if it were not broken. You know how much of a run we've made in the past 24 hours? 500 miles, sir. 500 miles. And we'll do more tomorrow, I promise you that. Unless, of course, the weather gets a bit sticky. Fog, you know, or a storm.
Still scared?
I'm getting over it. But you don't get over 3 years of terror in one night.
Very unusual. Very powerful pumps could pump enormous quantities of water out of her. And enough piping so that it could be led into any area in which she might be taking water.
He never drank before this December. Even before we were married, when he was in the army, and his friends got drunk every Saturday night. John only took an occasional drink.
How do you know that, Mrs. Dankman?
John wouldn't lie to me, I'm sure of that. No matter what else he's done, he'd never try to fool me.
Well, that's very important. What do you think is behind it?
These things are beyond me, I don't know. I'm at the end of my rope. In every other crisis, I've been able to figure things out.
You are on an unsinkable ship, my boy. There's a man on board wants to meet you. One of our stockholders. I think it might be wise.
Well, you'll excuse us, won't you? Todd Hunter is in the main first-class salon with some of the distinguished passengers making this trip. Come in, Todd Hunter.
The roster of passengers on this maiden voyage of the Titanic reads like a who's who of both British and American society. That's Colonel John Jacob Astor over there with his young bride. And with him is Major Archibald Butt, personal aide to President Taft. Colonel Astor, what do you think of the Titanic?
Magnificent. Everything they said she was. Britannia rules the waves, eh, Bud?
And that is Mr. and Mrs. Strauss. As you know, Mr. Strauss is head of the famous New York department store, R.H. Macy & Company. Having a good trip, Mr. Strauss?
Delightful. Couldn't imagine a better one.
Are your quarters comfortable? No complaints about the food?
That's not our boat.
How much time do we have?
Forget time.
You think we'll make it?
We've got to.
Isn't that dangerous, dear?
Not if you know what you're doing.
Why should things be so big?
Well, in ships, in general, the bigger they are, the faster they go.
But why should they be so fast?
Oh, there you go again. Right to the heart of the matter. You should have been a lawyer, my dear. But you can still quote me on the Titanic. It's a miracle, and I'm grateful to be on it.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Strauss. The man just coming in from the deck is Frederick Hoyt of New York. Mr. Hoyt is the well-known naval architect. Oh, Mr. Hoyt.
Yes?
May I ask you a few questions? As a designer and builder of ships yourself, would you tell us, please, your impressions of the Titanic?
Well, she's quite magnificent, of course. I was just having another look around her. She's absolutely the latest word.
Do you think she merits the title, the unsinkable ship?
Well, I imagine the Titanic comes as close to it as anything on the sea ever has.
Do you have any reservations about anything?
Well, there's a French restaurant, a palm court, Turkish baths, electric baths, squash courts. There doesn't seem to be anything that anyone would want.
I was talking about the ship itself, sir.
Oh, you put me in a difficult position, being in the same line of business, as it were.
Any comment at all that you'd have?
The Titanic has every modern improvement and every possible safety device. Her chances of ever getting into any serious trouble are extremely remote.
Thank you, Mr. Hoyt. Cleet Roberts has some information now from the bridge. Come in, Cleet Roberts.
He came in around 11:30. I heard him stumbling around downstairs, knocking into things. So I got up. The noises he made as he came upstairs was enough to wake an elephant. He was definitely tipsy. He didn't know what he was doing. As he tried to kiss me, I could actually smell the whiskey on his breath. It was terrible.
There have been a few developments up here that may be of interest in showing the operation of the Titanic, particularly when any special precautions have to be taken. We are now entering a great field of ice plotted by the ship's navigators as some 70 miles long and 12 miles wide. No ice has yet been seen, but Mr. Murdoch, the chief mate who has relieved Captain Smith on the bridge here, is ready to receive any warnings from the lookout up above in the crow's nest. Mr. Murdoch, how will you be informed if and when ice is sighted?
Put the bottle on the table. Let it say bye till I'm not able to see your face in every place that I go. I've been sitting here so long, remembering that you are gone. One more drink of wine, and if you're still on my mind, one drink, just one more, and then another. I'll keep drinking, it won't matter, remembering that I once had her. I don't know why I sit and cry every day. I've been trying to forget, but I haven't stopped as yet. One more drink of wine, and if you're still on my mind, one drink, just one more, and then another.
All right, so we just ended that with a little song there by David Regnier and Lauren Krum and Mark Smeltzer. It's a really nice... that Lauren Krum, she's something else, I'm telling you. She can sing. Got a sinking feeling. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I was just saying what the name of the movie was, Sinking Feeling again. All right. We're going to a break. We'll be back. Junkyard, why do you keep making all these, you're like a cheerleader over there, you're all doing pointing at everything, and yeah, I don't even know what's going on, but that's funny stuff, Junkyard. You're cracking me up tonight. You are cracking me up. All right, hold on now, everybody. We're going to have a cartoon by Andy Panda, the Andy Panda cartoon. You know how much I love cartoons, and sometimes I feel like we need more cartoon. What do you think out there? Should we have more cartoon or less cartoon? Andy Panda, going on. We're just talking about Andy Panda and the cartoons. Probably had something else I was going to tell you about. Probably, oh, Titanic film. You Are There. Titanic, the sinking feeling. We're going to have that too. Stick around. Junkyard and the Rabbit. Don't go away, everybody.
So you're gonna make it tough for me, huh? go! Oh, Pelican can get the best of me. I'll show you who's boss around here. Wider, wider. Keep it warm. What's the matter? You hungry? What do baby pelicans eat? Oh, you want a fish? Okay, now you wait right here.
starboard. Out of starboard. What's down the engines? Full of stern. Look out watertight doors. Watertight doors.
What was that?
Iceberg, sir.
Close all watertight doors then.
Doors closed, sir.
Good. I'll go below and see what damage there is. Good thing we didn't hit head on.
Yes, sir. Full ahead. Full ahead. You're back on course.
Back to course, sir.
No need to get alarmed. You saw it wasn't much.
And the water can't spray up under them. I told you that before. Also, you should rinse them out before you load them in.
Can't you see the irony of doing the machine's work before you use the damn machine?
I don't mean to harp on this, but if we're going to share the chores around here equally... Oh, honey, now you can see that these things have to be done the right way, can't you?
Seems to me we shivered as if we'd brushed something.
You'd shiver too if you were down in that water. Just like the middle of winter out there.
It seems to me we're slowing as well.
Mr. Phillips, we struck an iceberg. Stand by to send out a call for assistance. But don't do anything until you get word from me. It may not be necessary. Steward, you stand by here till further orders.
Yes, sir.
We've stopped.
Well, whatever it was, can't be more than a scratch.
Hello? Want to see where I came from? Hold your breath.
Send out the international distress signal immediately.
Yes, sir. Todd Hunter is on deck now. Come in, Todd Hunter.
Let's get away from here. And see what's wrong.
Passengers here in first class were all alerted a little while ago and are now coming up to take their place in the lifeboats. No one knows exactly yet what's happened, but no one seems particularly alarmed. Seems inconceivable that such a slight bump, if indeed that's what it was, could have damaged a ship like the Titanic. Those of the passengers who aren't annoyed at being called out of bed in the middle of a cold night are taking the whole procedure as some kind of stunt. Oh, Colonel Astor. Colonel Astor.
Yes?
Do you know what's happening?
What?
I say, do you know what's happening?
Some sort of drill, I guess.
First stop's the reservoir. Hold your breath again.
Captain Smith. Captain Smith.
Yes?
Is the ship badly damaged?
Yes, it is.
Can you tell us what happened?
We collided with an iceberg, hit the part that is underwater. I've ordered all passengers into the lifeboats. Watch those folds when you lower away. See it doesn't get fouled up in the hook.
Take us back to the boat. Did you hear me? Take us back to the boat.
Captain Smith. Oh, Captain Smith. Are other ships coming to your rescue?
The ship has been sighted a few miles off to port. She hasn't responded to our wirelesses yet, but we're sending up rockets. She should see them soon.
Clean water is good for everybody.
Well, Mr. Hoyt?
Well, Captain, looks cold down here.
It is.
Well, at least it will give me some sort of a chance. I don't suppose you... No. Stupid of me. Sorry. Well, goodbye, Captain.
Good luck, Mr. Hoyt.
Thank you.
We should go back to the boat.
Who's afraid now?
Is the ship's orchestra up on deck?
Yes.
Have them play something if they're up to it, please, Mr. Murdoch.
Well, I broke down in East St. Louis on the Kansas City line, and I drunk up all my money that I borrowed every time. I fell down at the Derby, and the nights as black as a crow. And it was a train that took me away from here, but a train can bring me back home. What made my dream so hollow? Standing at the depot with a steeple I could never ring the bell. And now I'm 10,000 miles from home, and I got nothing to show. It was a train that took me away from you, but a train can't bring me back home. I remember when I left without bothering to pack. You know, I just up and left with the clothes I had on my back. And I'm sorry for what I've done, and I'm out here on my own. It was a train that took me away from here, but a train can't bring me back home.
2.5 hours after scraping the side of the iceberg, the Titanic sank to the bottom of the sea.
Into the ocean they go. Did you ever swim in the ocean? Did you ever write this word? It's swimming. Let's all say it. Swimming.
She went quietly, her bow dipping deeper and deeper into the water until her stern stood straight up in the air. Then gently and gracefully, she slid beneath the waves.
They can keep their heads above the water even in the big waves.
Woo! That movie is not so good. But you are there. You also might have been there at that show. Saw Lauren Krum and David Regnier and Mark Smeltzer playing that song that you just saw in there. That was nice. I like that song. Pretty, pretty, pretty singing by Lauren Krum. William Shatner's in this part? Why would William Shatner be in the industrial arts part? Is he in that part?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, I showed you my banjo. Look. It's a Dixie. It's all metal. You can beat your way out of any bar with this thing, just swinging it. Boom, boom, boom. Get right out of the bar with it. Boom. Here's some more industrial safety films with William Shatner.
Hey, Joe, come on, let's go to basketball practice.
Okay, but wait till I finish cleaning up here.
Say, you making this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this looks as good as furniture you'd buy in a store.
It ought to. It's taken me long enough to make it.
Kind of slow, huh?
Yeah, but I've learned enough in making this one that I could probably make another in about half the time.
Hey, you like this shop course, Joe?
I like it swell. Why?
Well, didn't you ever wonder what good you'd get out of a course like this?
Yes, this is the tool made just for the job she wants to do. Use the right tool. Another rule for using tools safely. We've seen that neatness and using the right tool are part of keeping safe. What else can we find out about how to use tools safely? Here are some papers that Bill has collected to earn money for his Sunday school. He's early for school today, so he can use this time to tie the papers together. Does Bill know how to use the pocket knife properly? Yes, he cuts away from himself, and he closes the knife safely, too. Use tools correctly. That's the third part of using tools safely.
I'll bet every American has some relative or ancestor who feels like they've missed out on some earth-shaking invention that would change their lives, change the world. Trouble is, we've been so prolific. Everybody's always running around with some million-dollar idea. Look around. Here are a few of those earth-shaking ideas. The government used to make you build a model before they would grant you a patent. Here's a washing machine. And paddle wheel. Cane seat. Would have been great to get in on the bottom floor of those. And here's automatic fly brusher and fan. And a bed bottom. Could have lost your shirt on those. Still, they're all the good ideas and the funny ones. Attempts to solve the new needs of a new nation. But you know, succeeding or failing were not so important. What is important is the flood of ideas itself, the endless quest for that one big idea that would maybe start an industry or change our lives. I find this stuff around me here sort of touching. There's something innocent about our faith in ourselves, our ability to solve any problem that might come along.
In Sydney, Australia, a 220-foot chimney is being demolished. Plans are to break away one side and bring it down like a tree. It starts to fall in the right direction, then suddenly swerves. Watch the line of houses. 3 are crushed flat. A man in center screen runs for his life as bricks rain down like deadly hail. Miraculously, no one is killed, but 1,300 tons of brick and rubble blanket the crumpled buildings. A quiet street is turned into a scene of devastation by a chimney that fell the wrong way.
This is tomorrow, the last day of the world. This is tomorrow's bionic man. Inframan. A motion picture that will stagger your imagination. Inframan, the ultimate in science fiction. Inframan.
You should never allow another person to enter the work area around a power tool you are operating. And you yourself should never violate the working area around a power tool or speak to anyone while you are operating a power tool. Only the operator should be permitted within the area while the tool is in operation. The machine should be located in a position where the operator cannot be distracted. Working in a shop is fun, but a shop is never a place for horseplay. Shoving, pushing, throwing tools, or scrap lumber are sure ways of causing avoidable accidents. Only by keeping your mind on your job, by staying constantly on the alert, can you avoid accidents. Any unnecessary distraction creates a needless risk for you and the others in the shop. In many industrial shops, the safety record is posted and regarded with pride by all those who have contributed to the prevention of accidents. The workers in such shops not only know the rules of safety, but adhere closely to these rules. They know that it's smart to be safe. They wear the proper clothing when they work. They protect themselves by wearing protective gear when it is needed. And they keep their clothing in good condition, never wearing anything which is ragged or torn and might get caught in machinery. The workers in a shop which prides itself on a good safety record keep their shop clean. Oily rags are kept in metal containers. Inflammable liquids are kept in closed containers and stored in fireproof cabinets.
These are just a few of the occupations I could name. All of these jobs pay well and afford challenges and chances of advancement to the individual.
But Mr. Barnes, the courses I take here won't actually prepare me for one of these jobs when I graduate, will they?
No, you'll probably need more training by either going on to college or by apprenticing yourself into one of the skilled trades. But believe me, Joe, the basic training you get in these courses now will give you a definite advantage over the fellow who hasn't had such experiences.
Well, that's what Mr. Barnes had to say on the value of courses like this.
Yeah, but you plan to be an engineer, Joe, and I can't see how industrial arts courses will do me much good if I should decide to go into business or something like that.
You can't, huh?
No.
Well, come on, boy, let's go to basketball practice. And meanwhile, I'm going to set you straight on a few of the facts of life.
You're all invited to a centennial celebration. What they were celebrating wasn't important, and it sounded like a heap of fun until 2,000 maniacs, crazed for carnage, started bathing an entire town in pulsing human blood. You'll see 6 young strangers doomed to slaughter by an ancient curse.
There came an awful sound.
And from his lips there came an awful sound.
Brutal, evil, ghastly beyond belief. You'll see the most diabolical device ever contrived, designed solely for assassination by a town of madmen, insane with bloodlust.
Stonewall took a gun and he made the Yankees run, but he...
2,000 maniacs, gruesomely stained in blood color.
Stonewall said, I'm a-giving you a dying man's request.
I'm a-giving you a dying man's request. Yeah!
Starring Playboy's favorite playmate, Connie Mason.
Yeah! Oh, the South's gonna rise again.
Hey, how about the coach? I bet he doesn't.
You bet he doesn't what?
Oh, hi, Coach. Well, we were just talking.
What about? When you start making bets on me, I'm interested.
Well, we were talking about different jobs in which industrial arts training is used, and, well, Bill thinks...
He thinks that coaching isn't one of them, huh? Well, Bill, I took some industrial arts courses when I was in school, and except for some work on the gym floor and knowing a little bit about plastics and some other materials used in sports equipment, actually, it hasn't helped me a great deal, of course. But in it, I gained a mechanical interest and know-how that stayed with me through all these years. For instance, when I get in my car to go someplace, I feel pretty confident that in case of minor trouble, I can fix it, or at least recognize its source.
We're not traditionalists. What really interests us is the idea that if we just keep working, things will get better and easier. We want that to happen. This lab is an example of our national faith in invention, our conviction we can solve any problem. The job of creating this country, creating and recreating our very selves isn't finished.
You know, fellows, there's a feel about it that I like, for being able to visualize something and then create it with my own hands. As a matter of fact, most industrial arts courses will help you in sports, because they do help you to coordinate mind and body. Hey, this is basketball practice, not a lecture course. Let's go.
You know, Joe, I believe I will take a couple of industrial arts courses next year.
Fine, Bill.
Say, you're no shop man. How do you think my car would look? Well, if I smoothed out the hood and put a new grill in it and, you know, made a real rod out of it.
Great. You saw what I did to mine, didn't you?
Yeah.
There's probably some of you out there that really think William Shatner was a great something. I don't know. Maybe you like T.J. Hooker or Captain Kirk or any of the other Travelocity guy, whatever thing you might have liked with William Shatner. I don't know, but I don't think the guy's ever been in a shop in his life. I think he's just some kind of just saying words. Probably doesn't even know what he's saying. It's like he's got his junkyard. He's got a junkyard like I got a junkyard here, but Junkyard just points and says things every now and then. But I bet he's got somebody holding up those signs. William Shatner, say this, and then he just says it, and he didn't even know what he's talking about. But there are some good safety tips, so I don't know. I guess that's about all the time we got tonight, so I'm going to close the show with Jason Beers and Mark Smeltzer and David Regnier. They're going to play something for us. It's going to be sweet. I'll see y'all next week. Junkyard and the Rabbit.
Started down the road, Father Green.